This morning, there's breaking news from the Supreme Court. They've made a decision or non-decision in the Virginia Falls Church court case. Alan's on the other line from California, where it's dark. It's 4 a.m. there, almost 5.
Yeah.
And so you got up this morning with great interest because you know the Supreme Court was going to make a decision or non-decision versus Falls Church. What did we learn today?
Well, in the order list that they publish after their Friday conferences, then they publish them the following Monday morning. And so there in the list for this time is the Falls Church case under the category of petitions denied, certiorari denied. So it means that the Supreme Court has, after relisting the case for 4 separate conferences carrying it over, they finally could not get apparently 4 justices interested in taking the case for review. And that means that the decision of the Virginia Supreme Court awarding all the property, real property, and the money to the Diocese of Virginia is now final as to the Falls Church. It is already, of course, final as to all the other Cana congregations that did not carry any appeals this far. But the Falls Church gave it a good try, and they had some very, very good attorneys and wonderful petitions filed. They got some good amicus briefs. And as I said, the court considered it for over about 3 months before finally turning it down. I just have to conclude that this membership of the court, it's now turned down, of course, similar petitions from Georgia, California, Connecticut. I just have to conclude this court's just not interested in the issue that was created by the 1979 decision in Jones v. Wolf. That was 35 years ago. And the courts are still struggling with what was meant by the court in some dictum in that decision when it said that a national church could create a trust in its governing documents.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, let's be honest. This is a big win for the Episcopal Church. There's some $13 million here at stake. It's going to go over from the Falls Church to the Diocese of Virginia, where it can be used in future lawsuits.
Unfortunately.
And one of the realities here is that the court changes membership all the time and goes from conservative to liberal to neutral. And I don't know where we want to count the court in all this, but they're unwilling to discuss trusts and they're unwilling to discuss the options of neutral principles. And I think that's troublesome in this day and age. But we talked before about the legal strategies of the Episcopal Church is sue everything that moves, and in this case it worked.
Yeah, I do want to correct one impression. Is the money will not be available for future lawsuits because in Virginia the law is now settled.
Oh, okay, good. All right, good.
The Dennis Cannon works, so there won't be any more lawsuits in Virginia, but presumably the Diocese of Virginia gets to keep the money for itself. I don't think, of course, it'll pay a pledge over to the national church, but it probably most of that money is going to just stay in the Diocese of Virginia.
So, not a wonderful Monday morning.
No, as I say, it's still dark out here. I can just go back to bed, I guess, and hope that the sun will dawn on a brighter day.
Well, the brighter days may occur. We're waiting on the Texas Supreme Court decisions. When do we expect those?
That could come out as early as this Friday, now that the elections in Texas, the primaries are over. The justices were out there campaigning. They all won their primaries, so now I think they can come back and probably get around to issuing some decisions that might be controversial. We'll hope that this is going to be one of them, and we'll see that in another week or so. And then in San Joaquin, we're just finishing up the briefing next Monday. We'll turn in the final briefs in that case, and then it will be submitted to the judge for his decision. And we'll have some word on that, hopefully within about 3 months.
This kind of really opens our eyes to why we were told by Paul not to seek our
does it ever
our grievances in court.
Civil court, right? If it ever points out anything like that, it does. And I'm, of course, thick in the middle of it because that's my profession. I can't avoid it, but I do not wish this on anyone, on my worst enemy.
Yeah. We keep everybody in our prayers. We ask that you will be glorified in this, and we know that God will be glorified in us. And Alan, I thank you for your time. I understand you had a little earthquake out there this morning.
Yeah, only 6.9. Yeah, nothing to worry about.
Just a little alarm buzz in the bed.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alan, and have a great week.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So